For the panel to work correctly, the layer of the photo must be called background. Generally in the Photoshop, the pictures that are imported are called background, but if we change the name after the import, for example in this case the picture is called test, it is important to change the name of the layer in background. To make this operation easier, we have created a specific action in the third page of the panel, so as to rename the name of the photo layer with a click. Once you have renamed the layer of the photo with the name background, you can use the panel correctly. Giga Beyond the Shot is a versatile and very powerful panel. With its 114 actions and 1,500 different combinations, it is able to satisfy both the less experienced photographers and the professional ones. A series of creative and easy-to-use actions that will add magic to your photos is finally available. Let's take a look at the panel. As you can see, there are 3 pages of actions. Let's start from the first one, that is Amazing Retouch. At the top you can see the Special Effects section, where on the left there are specific actions to generate fantastic effects such as rays of light, sun, flare or bokeh, and many others, while on the right there is a series of presets. Just below you can find black and white, 9 incredible presets to convert your picture to black and white, and a fully customizable action. Further down there are the actions related to the simulation of the film grain. On the second page of the Perfect Retouch panel, you will see the Artistic Retouch. These are 13 fantastic presets that will help you find the right mood to give to your photo with just a click. The last one is Try Them All. It is nothing more than a tool to open all 13 presets at the same time. Further down on the left you will find the colored glow-specific actions that we will analyze later on, while on the right there is the tone reducer. Below this, you will find the actions dedicated to skin coloring and a customized action to sample the exact color you need. On the third page named Perfect Workflow, at the top there's a section dedicated to corrector brushes, such as blurred face and flashlight, which removes the glare of light generated by the flash, or oily skin, which reduces the effect of sweaty skin, etc. Further down you will find the Workflow Tools section. Inside this section, you will find the background command, which enables you to rename a photo, auto histogram, and a whole series of ready-made functions to help you speed up your workflow. Last but not least, below there's the Brush Tools section, which contains very interesting actions as well, such as Enhancer Texture, Background Light, which lightens the background, and many other actions. Let's start with the Light Rays action. With this action you can create a glow of light in sun rays. Let's see how it works. As soon as the action is launched, the first step you have to do is place the glow where you want to see it in the picture. Then, with the mouse, move the glow where you want. In this case, we are moving it to the left. With the gradient fill you can reduce or increase the glow by varying the scale. Moreover, with gradient you can change the color of the glow itself. We hereby remind you that you can modify the settings of this action even at a later time. Once you have pressed continue, you can move on to the next step, which is the creation of rays. At this point, as the guide suggests, you have to move the center of the rays until it coincides with the center of the newly created glow. To do this, simply press Continue. To control the rays, a new window will open named as Gradient, Angle, Scale, etc. Once the necessary adjustments are made, by pressing Continue you will open the last window, i.e. Levels, which will lighten or darken the rays. At this point, if you open the Light Rays folder on the Layers, you will find all the adjustments you have made. From there it will be possible to make some adjustments again. Now you can remove the effect of the rays where it is not necessary. To do this, simply click on the ray mask and use a brush. We recommend setting the opacity to 60%. Let's see the effect. Now for the fine adjustment, we bring the opacity to 30%. We also remove the effect from the child's body. If we compare before and after, the result is really very good. You see how simple it is to create glow and sun rays, and how many adjustments there are in order to get exactly the desired effect. Let's move on to the next example by launching the sun as live action. First of all, position the sun where you want. In this case, we place it on the left. Through gradient fill you can decide the color, and with scale you can choose the size. For this image we choose a scale of 100. By pressing OK and then Continue, you get to the Levels window. Here you can vary the intensity of the brightness. Then, by pressing OK again, your action will be imprinted on your photograph. If you open the Sun as Life folder, you will find a series of interesting adjustments. At the top there's a black box to darken our image, and then different colors to change the dominant of the photo. Let's make some examples. With this command you can change once again all the parameters of the sun. If you are still not happy with the final result. You see how simple it is to add a sun to a picture, and how simple it is to change the parameters even after applying them. This interesting action will give an extra touch of magic to your images. You just need to compare before and after. Let's move on to the next action, that is Magic Bokeh. With this action it will be easy to blur the subject from the background as you prefer. On this photo we want to blur more the model from the background in order to give her more prominence. Let's see how this action works. Once the action is launched, Gaussian Blur dialog box will ask you how much you want to isolate the subject from the background. You can choose the value you want. We set the value of 6 and press OK. If you look at the before and after result, you will already notice the difference. At this point we are going to make some micro adjustments. To do this, let's first enlarge the image. If you open the Magic Bokeh folder you can see that there are several adjustments available. The first one is a warm filter, which adds a warm tone to the picture. Let's analyze the effect. With the second adjustment, you can fix the picture in case the automatic selection was not 100% accurate. Select the relative mask and take a brush, then pass it on the hair and on the edges of the photo. The selection has really improved. It's definitely better now. If you want, through the Gaussian blur function you can change the blur again. As you can see, it is really easy to blur a subject from the background. Magic Bokeh is a very powerful and effective action. In a few seconds you can give more prominence to your subject through a simple and non-destructive workflow. Let's move on to the next example, sun flare. Once the action is applied, the lens flare dialog box shows you what you can do. You can set the brightness and choose which focal length to use. Before applying the effect, you have to move the flare inside the window and position it more or less where you would like to see it in your photograph. I placed it on the right and then pressed OK. Now through the dialog box color picker you can decide the color. For reasons of simplicity, I choose the default color and press OK. As you can see, the sun flare has now been created. Personally, I would prefer removing that green cast of the flare at the bottom left. To do this, simply open the sun flare folder, select Smart Filters, and use a brush to remove that green ring. If you compare the before and after picture, you can notice that now it is better. It is always possible to vary brightness or type of flare by clicking on the lens flare function. Moreover, at the top there's a background color filter in case you want to warm up the scene of your picture. This sun flare function is very beautiful, and it is very easy to use in your photograph. All the actions of this panel will amaze you, and will take the concept of post-production to a higher level with a simple click.